All right, guys, real quick video today to get you going. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this. So let's just say that we have. Actually, let's do this one. Let's just put a graph right here, and we'll call that good. Look at that. I don't have to draw graphs anymore. And let's just take some random line like this. Oops. Doesn't matter. And we're going to call this f of x. Okay. So the whole idea behind the limits, this is not intro to limits. This is actually intro to derivatives. I should say intro to the limit definition of derivatives. All right. That's horrible writing, but I'm going fast. So intro to the limit definition of derivatives. So the idea behind this is this is some weird f of x, and the whole idea behind derivatives is that I can find the slope at exactly 1 point. So in other words, I can find the slope. Man, I cannot draw arrows to save my life here. Let's try this way. There we go. Oops. So we can look at that exact point. Now, with these weird lines like this and crazy functions, we can use limits and the limits to define the definition of a derivative. So remember, a derivative is just finding the slope at exactly 1 point. That's our key piece for today. Now, we're not going to do too much with it today other than show you the limit definition. So the limit definition as h approaches 0 of f of x is always equal to f of x plus h minus f of x over h. Now, I'm not going to get into this too much until Monday for you guys. What we're going to work on, because of the last 18 months, is we're just going to work on the algebra ability for you guys to kind of pull this together. Okay. Don't worry about where x plus h comes from. We'll talk about that on Monday. But the idea is that the limit is going to approach 0. Well, if that is the case, then we have an issue right here because this is h and h can't be 0. So there's some things we have to do. Now, don't be too scared about this algebra stuff here because this algebra doesn't last very long. We only do it for a day or two, and then we start in on all the shortcuts and rules and properties. Okay, so let's just kind of tackle that. Let's just assume that we have a shape here, and I'm not even going to give you a shape. I'm going to backtrack off of that, and I'm going to give you some random functions. So f of x, right? So f of x, let's say, is equal to 2x squared. Well, I'm going to use this limit definition to kind of tackle some algebra. So on today's worksheet, they actually have you do two things. They have you find f of x plus h. They have you find f of x plus h minus f of x. And then they also have you find f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. All right, so let's tackle this one first. So what they want is they want this piece here. Let's change it colors here. Let's just make it yellow just so it'll fit in there. They want x plus h to be inserted directly where x is. So let me change my colors back to red or whatever color I had here, and that's what I get here. Okay, now this is the most common mistake in algebra. We talked about it once. Don't forget, this is going to be a 3-term system. So you're going to end up with 2 times x minus h times x minus h. Okay, so watch your algebra right here on this step because it's very important. So that's going to give me 2 times x squared minus 2 2xh plus h squared, which finally gives me 2x squared minus 4, 4xh plus 2h squared. So really watch yourself right here, because this is where you can make I may have made a mistake already. X squared minus, nope, good. And watch your distribution. So it starts to get really big and ugly right here, okay? So step 2 in the worksheet is they want you to find this, f of x plus h minus f of x. Well, we already have f of x plus h, so I'll write that in the color that it is, which is going to be 2x squared minus 4x squared plus 2h squared. And then I will write f of x in a different color. Let's do something contrasting. Let's do blue here. Now I'm going to take f of x, which is 2x squared, and I'm going to subtract it. Subtract 2x squared. I put these in parentheses so that negative that travels right here gets used. Watch out for that one. That one will be the biggest mistake. So I always put f of x in parentheses no matter what. So now let's just kind of clean it up. Look, 2x squared minus 2x squared. Cancel, cancel. Those are gone. So I'm literally left with, and by the way, if it gets bigger on this step, you did something wrong. This step will clean everything up. So now I'm left with 4. Oops. I'm missing something here. I knew it. Nope. This is wrong right here, guys. I missed something. Right there. That should be H. And that should be H. Oops. So let's just clean this up. This is X, H, and this is going to be plus 2h squared. Okay, so what I'm left with is this right here. See, you just make little mistakes. 4xh plus, man, well, I'm even saying h and I don't write h. My brain is no bueno right now. So 4xh plus 2h squared. So that is my f of x plus h minus f of x. Now, let's go to this last one. So they want me to take my negative 4xh. Oh, I did it again. H plus 2h squared. And they want me to put it over h. Let's do h in green today. So we're going to put it over h. So we've got h right here. Whoops. H. So now I do a little factoring because I can take a h out of this. So I get h negative 4x plus 2h. And that's going to be all over h. So once I get to this piece, it cleans itself up, and I'm left with a beautiful new function, which is negative 4x plus 2h. That is my final piece. So today, all we're doing is we're practicing using the limit formula. You're not really worried about what the limit formula is, but we're going to do it in 3 steps. So on the worksheet, they're going to walk you through. They want you to do this as step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3, and you kind of work your way through all the pieces. And all we're going to get is just random equations on the bottom like this, where like negative 4x plus 2h. Now, what I am going to tell you, though, is 2 things. This step here, this step right here, and this step right here. Well, the first one, this should get smaller. So the equation should get smaller, not bigger. It shouldn't get ugly. This should get unugly right here. So this is the most ugly part of the equation. This should clean itself up. So we should start canceling things out. And then this one here, the h in the denominator, should simplify out. So that should simplify out or factor out. So this first step here, second step, should clean up the first step so it's not so ugly. The third step should let you guys clean out the h. So that's what we're doing today, guys, and I'll see you on Monday, and we're going to talk about what all this means.